Hi guys, my name is Alyssa and welcome back to my channel. So I've never talked about the Chinese zodiac on my account, and there's a reason for this. It's not what I study, but kind of recently or in the past couple years, I dove into it a little bit more. I'm sure there's some really good Chinese astrologers out there and they might have YouTube channels. I haven't found them, but if you know any good ones, link them below. So if anyone wants to go deeper in this, they can. I just want to give you an overview and what I've discovered about it. I just really like it, and so I want to tell you my interpretation. And then if you enjoy it, go search more, find more stuff out about it. Hey again, it's me with different clothes and different hair and different makeup, but I wanted you guys to know that today this video has been sponsored by California Psychics. I actually got to try California Psychics out and it's pretty cool. I cried. I mean, I'm a Pisces rising, so it's not that hard to cry, but I cried. I had to hold it back. But she knew because she's psychic, right? Anyway, I want to tell you a little bit about California Psychics if you've never heard of it, or if you have and you're wondering if you can trust it or try it. So it's pretty easy to get on California Psychics. You create an account, you add money to your account. You can't have a call unless there is money already on your account, so they'll never charge you more than what you have given, so you don't have to worry about that. And it will give you a 1-minute warning as well, so you can make sure you get all of that topic in. You can filter the type of psychic you want by topic, ability, style, and technique, which makes it really easy to find. You could search medium or whatever floats your boat today, you can find. And then all of the readings that you do get, they will be put on your own page so you can know who you want to talk to. And it will let you know if they're available to talk right now. And if they're not, you can try someone else, but it's cool if you can get the same person, because if you really vibed with them, you can go right back. So what I would do, and I would suggest when you actually go to California Psychics, you find yourself a place where you can relax, where you can actually get the most out of it. I locked myself in my room to talk to any psychic. I don't want anybody around me. I don't want my kids around me, because I really want to be able to focus, ask the questions, and really engage with the psychic who I'm talking to. California Psychics makes it so that you're going to be talking to someone who is legit every time. They also have a refund policy. So if you, in the first minute or two, you just feel like you're not connecting, you're not vibing, you hang up and you can deliver this information to the website and they will refund your money. Now, if you use my link, which is trycaliforniapsychics.com/Alyssa Trahan, you can see it right here. You'll get up to 80% off your first 20 minutes. That makes some of the psychics on there only $1 a minute. So you put 20 bucks in there, you get 20 minutes with the psychics. And you will get an additional $5 when you use my promo code. And it also looks good on me. So try it out. It's so worth it, I promise you. For people who have been following me, you know that there's been a lot of shit that I've been going through and in the past couple years, and I'm really trying to make my way back out into the world, right? And on my true life path, now that I know what it is. And I was able to call and talk to the psychic for freaking 8 minutes, and I was just so inspired and it made me feel so much, and she was so good. She helped me kind of put everything into perspective. I'll probably call her back again later when I have more more needs, but I mean, she just knew details that I didn't share, so that was the best thing about her. I want to thank California Psychics for sponsoring this video. It helps me out, and I'm glad I can help you guys out with the special code. And let's get right back into this video on Chinese astrology. Okay, this is your Chinese zodiac. There are 12 years, and they go in order. And you see what that order is actually called, or it has been called, the Great Race. Now, reading about the Great Race is really interesting. It's about the Jade Emperor. He's like, we're gonna put all these animals in the zodiac, and I'm gonna have a race to see who's first, and then we're gonna go in order of that, all right? So the rat is the first one, which was actually where we get this rat race from, because the rat actually didn't win the race fair and square, but it still came in number 1. It hitched a ride on the back of the ox, and while the ox was making it, because it's a very diligent animal, made it in there, the rat jumped off and went first, okay? So the rat is first, the ox is second. Now each one of these animals then follows suit, and there's a reason for where they are, and there's a reason for you, because you see, the Chinese zodiac is about competition and success, and it doesn't have to just belong to the rats. And hey, we're in the year of the rat while I'm talking about this, so it's like perfect. I want to talk to you about your animal. So if you don't know what your animal is, you can Google it, you just put in your year. But I'm also going to talk about the elements. So after you find your animal, you can go to the timestamp. I'll explain to you a little bit about how you can get success with your Chinese zodiac sign. And then I'm going to tell you about the elements and what adds to it. So if you want to know your element, what you need to know is the last digit of the year you were born. So if you were born the last digit of 4 or 5, you are wood, like 1984, 1985, 1994, 1985. So like if it's 6 or 7, you're fire. If it's 8 or 9, you are earth. If it's 0 or 1, you are metal. And if it's 2 or 3, you are water. So 2003, you're water. Okay, so that's how you figure out your element. Let's move on and get to this rat race. So the rat. Hi guys, if you guys are rats, I hate you because I'm an ox and you fucked me. Just kidding. It can be funny. So this is how you're going to gain success being born as a rat. You need to recognize your ability to cut corners. You need to recognize your ability to charm and manipulate. It's one of your powers. But you need to use this to unlock the genius inside of you and not always cut corners of the people outside of you. You also have to make sure that you find time to emotionally connect with the people around you so that you find yourself more inclined to love them, to more inclined to not want to take from them. And the only reason to do this is because it's a lonely journey when you're the first one to arrive and no one likes you. And if you want to live successfully and happily, you can't just win the race. You also have to have a family of loving arms around you. And that's true happiness. That's true success. You can't have one without the other. And so it's important that you start to realize that about yourself. You have a really sharp wit, so use that to progress society as a whole and not just to progress your life in general. You have won the race. Now what do you do with that? You change the world, and you change it for the better, not for what you want to make sense for you. That's how the patriarchy is created. You use that to help everyone else progress with you, to see what you see and what you know, and to give it of yourself freely to people out of love. This will give you the most success. You will also find, just like the ox didn't make a big fuss when the rat jumped off its back and won, okay? And so if you find this out, like the ox wasn't gonna hurt you, wasn't gonna kill you. The ox didn't care that you were hitching a ride. So remember that about everybody. People don't hate you. They don't want to screw you. That might just be a projection of your own reality. People will love you. People will take care of you. They want to be around you. You don't have to hurt them first. So as a rat, understand that you are in the position of already succeeding. And now it's just about what do you want on top of that. And once you get that, you will be able to align yourself with true success. And that is your rat. Oh, the ox. I will first say, because I am an ox and I sounded like maybe I could be resentful of this, like it's personal, like I'm taking this fucking personally that I didn't win. But it's not about that. It's just about, there's one aspect to the ox that's the most important part, is why didn't the ox win? It's a leader. You're strong, you're powerful, you're steady. So you should have just won. And you didn't because you were taken advantage of. And so it's not about saying that you need to watch your back or whatever, but like seriously, watch your back. There might be a rat on it. It's also about just being aware of your surroundings and being aware of what you really want. Did you want to win? Did you want to help people? Did you feel like you want to have friends? Be careful of the people that are around you. If you want to achieve success, you might have to go solo. You might have to protect yourself. You might have to decide, oh, it's better if I just rely on myself first. Because once I'm at the end, once I've found my success, then I can use that to lead people out of a loving heart and not out of resentment or from pain or oppression or feeling like you were somehow screwed over. You are honest and hardworking, so attribute that to you, to all oxes, but not to everybody else. It doesn't need to be something that belongs to people. It particularly belongs to the ox. So test people so you don't become tricked by them. Don't let go of living in the moment and the power of your creation. You have the ability to create, you have the ability to lead. So understand that all your trials and tribulations are leading up for you to learn how powerful and how strong you are and to give you what you desire in life. And that is your true success. And that is your ox. Hey guys, this is the tiger. Now the tiger came in 3rd place. And he would have come in first, but there was a river that they had to cross. And so he jumps into the river and it like soaks him and it just slows the tiger down. But the tiger still made it 3rd and still really tried. Now, the tiger is considered one of the most unluckiest of all the Chinese zodiac because of how hot-headed they are and how quick-tempered they are. So that can ruin your chances of success. I said that so weird. That can ruin your chances of success. Like it didn't ever go in my throat to say that. That can ruin your chances of success. You can get offended really easily because you're sensitive. But if you realize that you're not sensitive and you actually take one from the tiger, okay? You don't have to win. You don't have to stay hot-headed to win. Sometimes you can just jump in the river. And when I say jump in the river, that is your full-on emotions. People tend to be sensitive when they are afraid of their emotions. It's like basically you're more sensitive to the cold of the water if you stick your toe in there first because your toe's like, ah! But if you jump in, your body immediately is flushed with the water and you're no longer sensitive to it, you're okay in it. And that's what that means. So when you are emotionally sensitive, it's because you're not allowing yourself to fully engage in the feeling. And that is not giving you peace. It's making you anxious. It's making you angry. So once you do that, you'll have the peace. You may not win. You may need time out. You're allowed to go through your feelings. You're allowed to take that extra time to spend time with you to really get to your own personal stability, because you will arrive at your destination when you were meant to, when it's fated, when it's destiny for you to, not because, you know, you're just working too hard and being too held back by the currents and you just want to win so bad. It's not about that for you. It's about finding your inner stability and your inner temperance, being the tiger. And that will give you all of the success you want because you're a fucking tiger, okay? I mean, seriously. It's weird that it's unlucky, and it's just unlucky because you get offended. But other than that, you're perfectly fine doing you, being true to you, and finding your own temperance inside of you. And that is your tiger. Okay, hi rabbit. So rabbit's also known as a cat, and I believe it's in Vietnamese astrology. But it's interesting with the cat, because this is a rabbit, and I'll go to the rabbit in a second, but since you're also the cat, there's a story, I mean, in the Great Race, is that the rat and the cat lived together, and, you know, the rat won the race, but really they lived together, and the rat was supposed to wake the cat up and tell him to go to the race, and the rat just got up and left without waking the cat. So the cat has a lot of resentment for the rat because the rat caused the cat to miss the race. Now that's in Chinese zodiac, which means that then the cat never actually even got a chance to compete and the rabbit's in its place. But I just find it interesting that in Vietnamese, it is the cat. So that's why they say the cat has an issue with the rat and will chase it forever and try to kill it. But the rabbit itself is a symbol of fertility, right? And springtime. And it's for a reason, because usually you're seen as very kind and sparkling and sweet-natured and friendly, and this allows you to move up in the world. You're moving up with people because you have the power of charm, but you're not the rat. The rat is so easy to sort of hate on. The rabbit is not, but they use their same sort of wit, right? The one thing that can run away with the rabbit is literally your creation, your children. You know, rabbits, they have a lot of babies, right? So you have a lot of babies and you're trying to focus on all of them, and you can't focus on all of them. So it's important that you find your favorite babies, your favorite creations, the things that you make, and you really focus and pay attention to the detail on those. Otherwise, you'll end up putting out a lot of mediocre shit that you don't even remember doing or that nobody remembers doing. If you want to progress yourself, if you want to find true success, you'll find it in being a master of a few trades, but you have to be able to focus your attention and to be powerful in these trades. Like, tell yourself, no half-ass projects. If you do put out things that are sort of mediocre, they won't end up being any benefit to you or any measured success in the world. Maybe measured success to your friends and family, maybe to you, and that could be what matters to you. And if that's the case, then choose that. But otherwise, if you want to make a real dent in the world, you have the ability to do that because you are the rabbit and you're so well liked. But you just have to be able to put something that's actually good out into the world. Make sense? Okay, and that is your rabbit. Okay, the dragon. Now, hi dragons, you guys are considered the luckiest in Chinese astrology. It's interesting, the reason why the dragon didn't win the race, and this has a lot to do with you, because the dragon should have been first, and the Jade Emperor even wondered, why is the dragon not first, okay? And it's because the dragon was flying and he burnt down a village and he couldn't allow that to happen. So he had to go back and save everybody from the mess he created. You see, the dragon is so powerful and so fast, but sometimes it's so big picture that it can't even see, you know, the damage that it might be doing when it's getting from one place to another. But as long as the dragon is kind and generous, those things won't matter because he'll take care of the people around him. And I think about like fire as being passion and desire. So when you look at the dragon breathing fire, what does the dragon do? Breathes passion, desire. These things move you in life. These are power in life. And so they do make you lucky. Wherever you go, you're breathing it on everyone. But sometimes your passion and desire can burn people down. They can feel like, wow, you're a lot, right? And so it's important to go back and to, you know, say, oh, it's okay. I'm learning how to be stable and together and to care about people and say that people might not always be up to par with me. And so I have to be patient with them for them to also catch that same fire and not just because I'm breathing on them. I would say the dragon was born with like fire and gold in their eyes, right? They have the dragon energy, right? It's good energy. It makes them very powerful and successful no matter what. They just need to build the compassion and you will succeed in whatever you put your mind to. Passion and desire are with you. Compassion is a virtue you can learn. And you will have all of the success. The snake. So if you are a snake, what a dick. Just kidding. Snakes aren't dicks. Snakes are actually pretty cool. You're also very charming. Just like the rat and the rabbit, the snake is very charming, very mentally agile. You learn and you grow through every project you tackle. So you definitely love to take in knowledge. Snake is always taking in knowledge. You think about the snake being wrapped around the tree of knowledge and tempting Eve with the apple, you know, that kind of shit. That's what the snake wants. It has all the knowledge. It wants to give all the knowledge, and it can manipulate with all the knowledge as well. So that's one thing you learn, how to take that energy and not manipulate it with, but actually educate people with it. And you'll find a lot more success that way. You don't like to be bored, but it's very interesting because you can be not bored and find a lot of fun in things that bore regular people because you're always trying to expand your mind. And this just brings you success. So it's about learning and growing that the snake is going to have the most success and the most happiness in life. You can't care about what other people are doing because once you are on a lower wave, a lower mental wave, and you try to stay down there, your progress, your success will be thwarted by others. And I think that's why the snake didn't win the race, but it's also why the snake beat the horse. And I'm actually forgetting the snake story. I just know that the snake could go unseen and slither through everything, and nobody even knew that the snake was there before the snake got pretty high in the thing, right? You're like rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake. Oh, you're 6. You're like the end of the first wave because you made it. And you made it with knowledge alone, how to sneak around all of the hard parts, how to get there even though you can't fly, even though you can't run on all your feet. It was all about what you know. I feel like that's incredibly important to accept yourself and to accept what you know over what everybody else does, and to not lose your power in order to remain successful and happy in life. And that's your snake. Okay, horses. Now horses are like really fun to me because as a little girl I loved horses, and this is exactly why I loved horses and what you are. But horses are both beauty and powerhouses, okay? If you are a horse, you have a power about you, and that power brings you success, but you also are a natural beauty. You have this charisma that might not actually be that charming, but it's definitely a little scary and a little bit like, I want to stare at it. You think about a horse and how majestic they are. I guess that's the thing with the horses. You're majestic. There's only one thing that's standing between you and success, and that is your own knowledge of yourself. And if you actually look at the race, the snake beats out the horse. Right before the horse is about to cross this finish line, the snake comes up. She never saw the snake, and the snake just beats the horse. And that's because the snake had more awareness and knowledge than the horse did. As fast as a horse is, as strong as a horse is, the knowledge was missing. And this is the knowledge that I think that the horse needs to find success, is that you adore to be adored. But what is adoration without accomplishment? You have to decide that yourself, because sometimes you could feel like you're not getting enough recognition and that maybe you should just give up altogether. But sometimes recognition is earned. You don't just become a racehorse overnight. You don't just become a show horse overnight. Sometimes you are bred to be better, but just because you were bred better doesn't mean that you don't have to put the work in, put the energy in order to make yourself smarter, better, faster, stronger. And so what I would say is that don't let go of your path until you know for sure that it's a lost cause. Don't just feel above things because they're a little bit beneath you. They can still win. Something beneath you, like the snake, can still beat you. Sometimes people work a little bit harder than you and they make it, even though you were born with more. I'd say you may have to sacrifice your need for power in order to make the power through your hard work undercover. So don't be afraid to not always be the show horse. Once you know everything about yourself, and once you know what you have to do to get to the apex of you and who you are, then you'll succeed, and then you'll win, and then you'll be happy, and you'll feel confident in yourself, and you'll feel confident in the people around you as well. And I think that's the most powerful thing I can tell you about being the horse, is just knowledge of yourself, and knowledge and awareness of what you have to do, knowing that you are high horse, but you don't have to get on your high horse. You can look below you and see that there might be other things going on that you have not been aware of. And once you do that, your awareness is key. You get across the finish line and you reach that success. Okay, this is the goat. Also the sheep. And I feel like I used to hear sheep a lot more than goat, which is weird, but maybe it's because goat's like also Capricorn, so you can say that like there's that Capricorn vibe to this year when you are born in the sheep or the goat. See, I'm calling it sheep. My daughter is a sheep. I always wanted to call her a sheep because she's so sheepy, less goaty, but it's, you know, whatever. So the goat is all about climbing up the mountain. Always mountain goat wants to get up on the top of the mountain and tell everybody that it's there and it's awesome. And so in that case, when you're not at the top of the mountain, you can go straight to the worst case scenario in any circumstance, because you feel like, man, it's just too fucking hard to get up there. I'm never gonna get up there. There's too much shit in my face. And you can become pretty emotional or just like devastated and depressed because you can't climb the mountains you feel like you were born to climb, because there's physical limitations, there's emotional limitations, there's all these things. And so it's important that you take into consideration that those are helping you ascend. Now, just like the tiger, the goat is considered one of the most unlucky of all of the zodiac signs. And I do think it's because there's a harder thing there, you know, like Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. There's a little bit more karmic energy, a little bit more holding you back because you were meant to take your place as an authority, but you can't be an authority if you haven't gone through it. And in that case, like, think about it as a sheep, like a sacrificial lamb. There's a part of you that might be sacrificed so a better part can grow, so you can get up to the top of the mountain. The goat had to stay back and help the monkey and the rooster because of that, the monkey and the rooster actually let the goat go ahead of them because they felt like they were the glue that held them all together. So there's a very big community part to this, almost like that Cancer Capricorn opposition. If you want to be true to yourself and be powerful and strong, you'll see that there is love and nurture around you that is ready to help you out and ready to get you there above them, because they know what your rightful place is. They know you're meant to be at the top there. So they want to help you. And if you listen to that, you definitely will find the success that you deserve and the power that you deserve within yourself, because you can see that there are people around you who want to cheer you on, who want to love you, and that you can love them back and still win. And that is your goat sheep. Okay, monkey. Now the monkey is super cute, right? Monkeys are adorable and they like to pick each other. I don't know, I just think of monkeys liking to pick at each other. Anyway, monkeys communicate through their feelings, and that's why they're so much fun to be around. It's a lot of instinct, not just feelings like you're emotional, but it's like you don't have to think with your head to be smart. There's a lot of instinct. There's a lot of understanding other people and why they do things and really kind of paying attention, but also being the life of the party. Monkeys are very fun. Why are they so fun? Because they feel everything. But when you feel everything, you can also become depressed, and that can kill your own wave and kill your success. And that's because we live in a society that needs you to work. And so if you work too much, you lose play. If you play too much, you lose work and you feel like you're not successful. Finding balance between that work and that play will give you that life that you want, that success that you want. It will make you happier, but you have to love what you work at. You have to love it. It has to be fun. And I think that's the thing that will help you. But then also when you're having fun, you need to put a little bit of standards on yourself. You can't just be running crazy all the time, because then you won't have time for working your fun job. So putting those two together, work in your play and play in your work, and then you got that balance, right? Monkeys can get confused because there's so much going on, and sometimes they can live in chaos and not even realize it, and then all of a sudden that chaos causes a mass confusion, and then once they have that mass confusion, then they don't know what to focus on. They can feel a little ADD, ADHD, or whatever. You just have to remember that this life is not a life that you need to win, nor do you care about winning. So take that out of you're not a part of the rat race necessarily. You didn't win, you don't need to win. You have so much going on. The race is not your success, it's today. Today is your success. Today is where you're gonna find your fun. You just need to enjoy it. And I kind of think about Peter Pan with the monkey, okay? It's like never grow up. There's a part of you that needs to never grow up, because as soon as you do, it will kill that fun that you have, that enjoyment you even have in chaos. But you just don't need that confusion. You don't need that authority yelling at you. You don't need all that other stuff trying to tell you who to be when you're definitely different than the rest of them. And that is your monkey. Roosters. Now, roosters love to be up at the break of dawn to crow, right? That's like their thing. That's what you do. I can see a lot of roosters living through the night, and the reason why is you see the stars. The roosters love to look up at the stars. They are huge dreamers, and they're powerful because of that. It's funny because the name rooster doesn't necessarily give me star vibes, but it is that roosters are always full of star vibes. Every rooster I've ever met is very like stargazery, dreamer, desires more, and does enjoy to be there through all of the darkness, because they like the idea of what that could bring, the dreams that could bring, the other worlds that they could explore. And it's just important that the rooster remembers to ground themselves, and that they are allowed probably more happiness if they put themselves with the cycles of the earth, okay? Because as much as you want to live at night, and I just like cheered you on about that night thing, you're valued more in the day because you are the star. And if you think about that, your life becomes more valuable to people when they can see it in the daylight. When they see you at night, you kind of are just one with the stars. You're just like the rest of the stars, but in the daylight, they see you as the star in the day. And I think that's important because you wake them up, make them woke, right? These things are metaphor, but they really work, and that all brings you success. To wake people up, to get them understanding something that's bigger than them. But then you also need to be grounded so you aren't depressed, so you don't fly away in the stars, so you don't lose yourself too, and to not being productive. So that's the thing. I guess the rooster can live in the stars and to regroup and to be among its family, right? But then it has to wake up and has to be alive in the day so that the rooster gets the recognition they deserve, which then makes them happier, which makes them feel more successful. And that is your rooster. Okay, this is the dog. Now the dog is the friendliest and the most natural nurturer of all of them. Yeah, right? We don't deserve dogs, and that's true. And there's a possibility that the people around you don't deserve you either, dog. And I'm gonna say this because you might find yourself jumping from relationship to relationship in order to nurture somebody else and to support somebody else. But all that's going to happen is that you're going to be in servitude towards another person so that they can take care of you, like a domesticated dog. And that's not the kind of dog you are. You need your freedom. You need to be able to go and do whatever you want. So you need a job, you need to work, all of these things, but you also need to have fun, and you need to be taken care of in a loving, nurturing way, just as you give back, so that it's even. Not that you're giving somebody your nurture so that they can pay for you to live or something. It has to be like, what do you want in life? What power do you want to bring to the world? Because you're gonna stop your life for somebody else all the time. Like, that's just what dogs do. They stop what they're doing to love the people that they're with. And sometimes you got to let the dog run free. Sometimes you need to not let the people you're in crate you and keep you back, because maybe the dog could have run and won the race. And said the dog was like, stopped to catch frisbees or whatever dogs do, or like maybe got put in the pound because people are shitty and they're like, no, you shouldn't do that anymore, dog. You can't be free. That's bad. So, I mean, it's all metaphor, but it's what you are. Just remember that you're in control of your choices. You're not a real dog, okay? The power lies in you. If you're not getting attention and love from the people closest to you, you also need to remember that attention and love from followers, from the limelight or whatever, is also not going to fill that void, because you want close connection. You don't need everybody else's love of you. You don't need stepping stones either. You need real love, affection, a best friend. Somebody to stay with you and to be with you, to allow you to be free, and then to call you back to their loving arms once they miss you. That will give you this kind of success that you want, because like I said, yeah, you just had to go catch frisbees. You enjoy that. You enjoy having fun. Live in the moment. Be free. It's not always a race you have to win. If you try to win the race, you're going to miss out on the frisbees, and that's not what you need. And that won't give you true success. And that is your dog. Okay, this is Pig. Now, Pig, you are the last one, but you're not even actually considered the unluckiest. And the reason why is because you remind everybody to take pleasure in their life. In the Great Race, the pig had to stop and eat. And that's what you do. And that's what you need to remember to do. And just because you didn't win, and just because you were the last, doesn't even mean you wanted to win. So you have to tell yourself that. Do you want to win this? Is this a competition to you? Do you give it, or do you want to just live your life and stop and smell the flowers? Roll around in the mud when you get a little bit soft or hot, and eat and drink and be merry, and then walk. You're going to cross the finish line eventually. We all die. How well do you enjoy your life? And that's what the pig reminds everybody of. And so let the first be last and the last be first. The rat might have won the race, but at what cost? The pig didn't win, but damn, did the pig enjoy himself. And that's what you need to remember about your life. Don't let other animals lead you to tell you how to do things. Lead yourself. Okay? Yeah, maybe you could have a little bit more of a competitive streak. Maybe there are things that you can fight for and that you should fight for. But don't let other people tell you what those things are, because when you see it, you'll know it. When it makes sense to you, you'll know it. You can lead people from behind. There's always a leader from behind and in front. And I'll tell you this is how it is with a family. It's when I was growing up, and it's how I am too, that one adult leads the kids and one adult follows the kids. Why? because the one's going to show them where to go and the other one is to make sure that nobody gets left behind. The pig does that. You're watching over everybody. You are a leader, but from the last point, you're a leader and a protector. What does that mean for you? How do you protect people? By reminding them that life is not a rat race. Sometimes you got to pig out. That was a good metaphor, wasn't it? Anyway, that is your pig. Okay guys, so this is going to be the part of this video where I talk about the elements that you are. So we're gonna go with what these elements actually mean. Okay, so if you guys were born with a 4 or 5 in the last digit of your year, you are wood, okay? And that means that you are creativity, you are flourishing and blooming. You're a flower growing. You're a tree growing. You are wood. Now this means that you have the eyes to see life. You see life as it is. You observe and you report from the place of the tree, the place of the flower. So this added to your zodiac sign is what generates and overcomes in your life. And for that I mean, you fuel fire and you're being fed by water. This means you incite passion. Just by being, you make people passionate. But you need wisdom to do that. So you take in wisdom. So it's very important that you spend time by yourself to take in that wisdom, to learn things and to observe so that you can give people passion. Overcoming is that you separate earth, but you're penetrated by metal. And what that means is that you know and understand emotional manipulation. You see people, like I said, you have eyes to see. You know what's happening. And emotions, they don't with you. You don't seem to care about them. You can look right through them. You can look right through what everybody else is doing. But you are controlled by ambition. Okay, when people are very ambitious, they can kind of make you feel like a little bit nervous, a little bit scared, but you also are a little bit intrigued by ambition and you let ambitious people in. So there's a part of you that has to learn balance with that because that is what can kill you. Also, if you become too ambitious and you're not ready for it yet, that can also kill you. So you need to take one step at a time if you are wood. Now, wood is also ruled by Venus, and this is generally about creation and love and sex and beauty and all of that. And so allowing that idea to come into your life and come into whatever zodiac sign you are to make you enjoy everything much more and to make you more successful on your journey. And that is your wood. Okay, this is if you're fire, and that means if you were born with a 6 or 7 as the last digit of the year you were born. When you are fire, you are full of enthusiasm and passion, and you're very adaptable. Okay, there's adaptation. You can move and flow like fire. And you're considered to be the tongue to taste life. Okay, when I say you taste it, that's like you gotta hold it in your mouth and experiencing the sour and the sweet and everything, like, because you take a chunk out of life. That's what fire does. And if you think about that in the way of like fire burning something, it just takes it away, it disintegrates it, it digests it, and you enjoy it while you do that. And you're generating overcoming elements, or your generating element is that you form earth and you're fueled by wood. And what that means is that you incite nurturing for other people to nurture because of the fire, because you light things on fire. Everyone around you has to be nurtured because of it. So you make that happen. You incite it. It happens because you're there, that people come closer together. But you need creativity in order to do that. If you're not creative, if you're not being fueled by this creation, then you can't make anything of worth, and then you're just a fire dancing in the breeze and nobody knows where you're going. So you need to be incited by creativity. Your overcoming elements are that you melt metal and you're quenched by water. Now what that means is that you transform others' ambition, okay? You can make ambition change. You can take that and just tell it to go itself if you want to, because you're like, hey, look at this. You're not supposed to be doing it this way. You're supposed to be doing it this way. Fire has a great ability to make that happen. But you're also quenched by water, so that means that you need to be changed by wisdom. If wisdom comes in, it tells you you might be wrong. You have to be careful of wise people sometimes, because they might hold you back. For one, if you see wisdom as like this great thing and you have this desire to do something, sometimes what people are telling you is not always right, because this is something that is overcoming you. Wisdom will overcome you, and if that's the case, if it takes over, then you're no longer you. So you need the wisdom, but you also need to be wary about who is giving you wisdom and to learn it for yourself. Okay, and fire is actually ruled by Jupiter. So there's expansion, fire expands. And with that, you can bring so much energy to everything in a good way. And that's a big part about what fire does. And that is your fire element. Okay guys, this is your earth element. Is this your earth element if the year that you were born ends in the last digit of 8 or 9? And earth is nurturing. It's stability, and it's honest, okay? It brings forth these sort of loving Gaia-like ideas to your life. And what we can see with this is you are a mouth to speak to life. You are a mouth speak to Gaia, the mother, to tell life how to act, to show life how to be, the best way to take care of everything. Since Earth is Mercury and it speaks, it was given that ability, which I find like very interesting that Mercury and Earth go together. But I do see that as like Gaia is the mother. She speaks to us. She wants everybody to know how to be, and that's what the earth element does. As far as your generating elements are, is that you contain metal, but you're formed by fire. And what that means is that you incite ambition, but you need passion to do it. So if people are not passionate about you, it's very hard for you to go out and give people ambition. And you think about that, I'm like almost thinking about it in a way of activism. If something can't make you feel passionate about something, there's no way you're gonna leave where you're at to go like put ambition into people's lives. You're just gonna be like, I'm just gonna stay around here. I'm Earth. That's what you do. I'm just gonna nurture myself. But Earth has that power to incite ambition in other people. Now, your overcoming elements are that you absorb water, but you are separated by wood. You are absorbing the water. And that makes the wisdom and this water energy pointless. It's gone because of you. Because you don't always need all of that wisdom, and you can get rid of it pretty easily if it's too much. You make mud with it and then the water dries up and has to go back to the sky. But you're overcome because you're separated by creation. So that's any creation that grows out of the earth. You look at that. The tree kind of comes out and it separates the earth. So there's parts of you that will be destroyed by things that are created, or if somebody else creates something. And in fact, it can be a little bit, creation can be a little bit scary. New things can be a little bit scary to you. And that's okay, because sometimes new things aren't right. So you have to be like wary of whether or not this new creation is good for you, or if it's not, and then to speak to that. And to change wisdom, like the wisdom of the world. It might be wrong, so absorb that wisdom, grow, progress with that. And that is your earth. Okay, this is for metal. Now, metal is if you were born in the year that ends in 0 or 1. So where are my 2000, and my 90s, and my 80s, and my 70s, and my 60s at? This is for you. Your metal. This metal is about ambition, persistence, and determination, and it's very righteous, okay? If I'm looking at the sense of this, it's the nose, and the nose smells things, right? Like, I smell fear on you. It's instinctual. That's what the nose does. And it's ruled by Mars, which is also instinct. So everything that metal does is just basically instinctual. And that is what is going to carry you to the finish line, is your instincts and your ambition. So these are your overcoming and your generating actions. You carry water, like a pipe carries water. The metal can carry water, but you're contained by the earth. And this means that you incite wisdom to other people, but you need nurture in order to do that, okay? So you need to be nurtured. Metal, you're not, just because you're instinctual doesn't mean that you don't need somebody else. You want and need someone to nurture you and to be close to you and to give you that. Because once that happens, and you can incite wisdom in other people. When you're cared for, you make people wise to the things that are happening. And you can do that by the fact that you don't sit around all the time to watch and observe things. You're just going, but you're going with that instinct to smell. And so you remind people that wisdom also exists in your instincts, in understanding of where you came from. And metal has the power to do that. But the overcoming action here is that you penetrate wood, but you're melted by fire. And what this means is that you can control creation. You can stop creation from happening. You can split it apart. You can cut off branches, but you help it grow better. You can kill it all together if you wanted to, but you're melted by fire, and that means you're killed by aggression. Okay, when someone comes at you angrily, and that goes hand in hand with this idea that you need nurture to be good, so you can be killed by aggression. Although at the same time, aggressive behavior can also be something you're attracted to because you feel like it fuels you, but it doesn't fuel you as much as it kills you. So you have to remember sometimes to choose nurturing energy to give you that over this overcoming action of aggression. Although sometimes you might need it just a little bit to light the fire under your ass, but then go back into being able to nurture yourself lest you go a little bit insane. Anyway, that is your metal. Okay, this is the last one. This is water. If you are a water element, that means you were born in the year with the last digit of 2 or 3. Water is about mental agility, wisdom, and mental strength, which is funny because a lot of water in Western is a lot of your emotions, but here that doesn't fall to that, it falls to earth. You are given the sense of the ear. You listen to life. This is what brings you wisdom. If you can listen, you can hear what people are saying. If you can hear what people are saying, you can know what they want. You don't have to say a lot to have wisdom. And that's what happens if you are water. Now, water is also ruled by Saturn in this case. And so in that, it's alike not moving, not reacting, taking in the energy, the knowledge, and having the strength of your mind not to react or act to it. Because if you do, it can come across as emotional, right? This is what your generating action is. And it is that you feed wood, but you're carried by metal. So that means you incite creation, but you need ambition to do it, okay? The ambition carries you. Without ambition, you're not really being held in anything. Held in anything in order to incite creation in anybody else. And what that means too, like you water creation. You're giving creation food, right? And that's part of what water does. So you give wisdom to wood people, to the creation people, and you help them make things. And so in this case, water can sometimes feel like you're just meant to be sort of a shaman or something, or a healer. And that is a lot true. Like a lot of them are like that. But don't forget that you also need ambition in order to do it. There has to be something that forces you in that way to do it. So don't discount ambition as looking like an ultra competitiveness or that you need something for yourself, because we all need something for ourselves. And you can't incite creation if you don't have a little bit of power behind yourself as well, doing what you want to do and inciting your own creation. Your overcoming action is that you quench fire, but you're absorbed by earth. And what that means is that you can kill passion. So you can take out passion. You're like, nope, that's stupid. You don't want to do that. And that's because you have wisdom. You can see it. You're like, no, don't go there, dude. It's not good. Yeah, I know you're really, really passionate about this, but please, let's listen for a second. Let's stop this for one moment. But the problem is you're absorbed by earth. And so you can be taken in by emotional manipulation, mental manipulation, also just in general, nurturing. So you have to be careful of whether or not you're being manipulated, because nurture can be easily manipulation. I mean, this is why we have so many problems with mothers in this day and age, because a lot of them are not really loving, they're manipulating and gaslighting. That's what really, really affects the water here, is that it can just take you over. And so you do have to rely on the ones who can separate that, and that is wood. Creation can see this manipulation. And so that's also why it's important that you incite creation, incite people who are making things, because they can take care of you when someone's trying to manipulate you to do something for them. And yeah, and that is your element. Anyway, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.